Chip Kelly is returning to the NFL, but not with the Houston Texans. How is the Houston Texans offensive coordinator search going? Guys, Chip Kelly was at the top of my list for potential offensive coordinators for the Houston Texans. The big question with Chip Kelly was, is he interested in leaving Ohio State? Is he willing to leave behind that juggernaut to go back to the NFL? Well, it's clear that he is. He was just signed as the new Las Vegas Raiders offensive coordinator. He will be working under Pete Carroll as the offensive coordinator there in Las Vegas. Look, what this tells me is the Texans had no interest in hiring Chip Kelly. They did not want Chip Kelly to be the offensive coordinator because you cannot convince me that the Las Vegas Raiders job is better than the Houston Texans job. So the question becomes not why isn't Chip Kelly our offensive coordinator, because that's easy. The Texans didn't want him. The question now becomes how much do you trust this offensive staff to hire a good offensive coordinator? Because a lot of people's number one, mine included for a long period of time, was Chip Kelly, having called plays in the NFL several times, an ex-NFL head coach, now winning a natty with Ohio State calling the plays. And we were all led to believe, due to a picture that surfaced of Chip Kelly in Houston, yet the popular kind of reporting at the moment has been that the Houston Texans never extended an interview. They basically never asked him to hop on a Zoom. They didn't want anything to do with Chip Kelly's offenses. Again, you cannot convince me that the Las Vegas Raiders job is better than this. Harder division. You're pretty much worse in every department except maybe the tight end group. Probably getting paid less money. I don't understand why he would have taken the Las Vegas job over the Houston Texans job. And so I really think he wouldn't have. I really think it just came down to the Houston Texans not wanting to extend him an interview, not even considering him for an offensive coordinator job. And again, the question is, how much do you trust the offense? I think a lot of people, myself included, would have at least wanted the Texans to pick his brain a little bit. Give the guy an interview. Why not? See what he has to offer, what some of his plans would have been for the Texans offensive coordinator role. What plays would you run? What systems would you implement? The Houston Texans didn't want any of that. And so now going through their potential candidates from bottom to top, and again, there's 8 candidates, and we're going to start with Bill Lazor. Internal hire. He's called offenses in the NFL before if you like the experience. They just weren't that great. So Bill Lazor's at the bottom of my list. Gerard Johnson right above him. Again, internal candidate. Both of these internal candidates for me are at the bottom of the list. You were in the building when this offense fell to pieces. Yes, you didn't get the final say of everything, but with Gerard Johnson, the quarterback regressed. You're the quarterback coach, man. What happened there? So Gerard Johnson, and again, Gerard Johnson has no experience, but he's above Bill Lazor for me because of his relationship with Stroud and kind of the quarterback coaching that he does with him. Next, we have Thad Lewis, the quarterback coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Look, Thad Lewis is interesting. He's barely been a coach. He's barely been in this league. He hasn't called plays. Yet I trust him more than the 2 internal guys because the Buccaneers system always produces head coaches. Baker Mayfield has played great under, him with Thad Lewis as his quarterback coach. Don't know if you can say CJ Stroud has been amazing with Gerard Johnson. So again, I'd rather trust the Tampa Bay Buccaneers system and see what Thad Lewis has to bring to the table. The next name is Adam Stenavich, the Packers offensive coordinator. That's kind of in quotes because we all know Mike LaFleur calls the plays. But I have nothing wrong with getting a Packers guy in here. That is kind of a stem from the McVay tree. I'm a big McVay guy. Nothing wrong with Adam Stenavich. If they want to hire him, they want to pick his brain, go for it. This is about the point where I start becoming more okay with the offensive coordinator hiring, starting with, Adam Stenavich. After him, we have Brandon Johnson, kind of a polarizing name. He was the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2023 when they obviously got blown out in the playoffs. A lot of Eagles fans don't like him, but, there's not much that Eagles fans are really happy with when it comes to their coaching. I guess this year's a different year because they're in the Super Bowl. But again, Eagles fans will complain about pretty much anything. So I like Brandon Johnson as a candidate. He's got the experience. And you also get to ask him what went wrong when he was calling the plays. Moving on, we have Grant Udinski. Grant Udinski is a really interesting candidate because he comes from that McVay tree. He's in Minnesota currently, passing game coordinator and quarterback coach, I believe, assistant quarterback coach and offensive coordinator assistant. So there you have it with Udinski. Look, the reason why I like Udinski is because he's in the Viking system. I have a lot of respect for their head coach. You know, when Kevin O'Connell was asked about this guy, he basically said he's super smart. He understands how offenses work. I know that doesn't always translate to the best offensive coordinator in the world. I do think there was some of that in Bobby Slowick, where Bobby Slowick knew the X's and O's, knew systems, but when it came to play calling, he was just unimaginative. So you always have to worry about that. But I like the fact that he's working under Kevin O'Connell. I like the fact that Kevin O'Connell likes him. And yeah, Grant Udinski would be my next pick on the list. Now to the second pick, we have Jeff Nixon. Jeff Nixon leading Syracuse to be the number one passing offense in college football, which is just great to see. I liked watching his play design. I liked watching his plays develop. He did call plays in the NFL briefly. If you like that experience factor, he was on a bad Carolina team, so I don't know how much you can look into that. But I like Jeff Nixon. He's got a very impressive resume. He's called plays before at the NFL level, and he just took Kyle McCord in Syracuse to be the best passing offense in college football. So Jeff Nixon is second on my list. And finally, Nick Caley. Nick Caley is the candidate that I hope the Houston Texans hire. Being a McVay guy, McVay has spoken highly of him. He has no play calling experience, but he was offered an offensive coordinator position at New England. Ultimately, he turned that down and $3 million to stay with McVay, maybe learn a little more and wait for a better opportunity. I truly think the timing is perfect for Nick Caley. I think this Texans offensive coordinator role is coveted, and I think that there's a lot of opportunity there for him. So, there is my quick speed rankings now that Chip Kelly is formally no longer in the equation. I'll ask you guys, do you trust this Texans offensive coordinator position? Do you trust the staffing? Do you trust the whole offensive operation? And do you think the Texans made the right move, not only not hiring Chip Kelly, but not even extending an interview to Chip Kelly? They didn't even pick his brain at all. Do you guys think that's the right move? Let me know in the comments, and I will see y'all in the next one, man. Peace out.